Ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to another episode of Casual KO. Here we're back with the Trinity. I almost said Dangerous World, that's why I paused a little bit. But we're back. Jared's back. That means that we're gonna get hot again. Jared's always the one that you guys are waiting for, the four-teamer,
Hey,
three-teamer
hey, we've been
steamers.
hot. We've been giving out some heat.
I know, but hotter. Hotter. Yeah, it's not the same without the three of us, so it's better to have all three of us. And we've had a couple of good weeks here. Last week was pretty good. I think the week before that was pretty good as well. And yeah, it's been nice, but it's been a little different with Jared gone. He was training for a fight, and we'll talk about that. We'll talk about he's got some good news, it sounds like, as well. Maybe a possible announcement. I have no idea what it is. I don't know if Alex does, but we're gonna go into this blind here. First of all, introduce Alex. He's always here. You haven't missed him yet because he is making it on the show every time. He's a soldier, and he's putting out the YouTube content for you guys to watch over there on Profit Picks YouTube. Alex, what's going on with you, dude?
I'm on a heater, baby. I gave out some heat last week. I gave you guys Stamen, Blackshear, Subber KO. Both props were live. Cash it plus 250. Told you the Ritter, the reindeer. Any way he wants, he got the sub. Cash me out.
That was
I
scary
only
though.
had I only had one loser last week, and that was Tricoli. But that's all right. Hit on Charlie Radkit. And I hit on Denise Gomez minus 3.5, baby. Let's go.
Yeah, yeah. I had a nice week as well, and then made some more back with the NFL as always. So I swear, man, NFL is turning into my thing, but it's not as fun to watch. So it's just one of those things. It's all clinical for me. There's no emotion involved, so we can get it done. But yeah, super fun last couple of weeks. We're finally back to a pay-per-view, and Jared couldn't have come back at a better time for UFC 309, the return of the GOAT versus the heavyweight GOAT. Jared, what's going on with you, man? Been a long time.
Yeah, feels good to drink beer again. It's been about a little over 2 months since
You're
I've
gonna
been
get
able to.
fucked up off like two Bobby Lights right there.
Oh yeah, dude, that's the plan. But
Good.
yeah, dude, I was busy training, getting ready for my first ever kickboxing fight. Total new experience for me. Fucking didn't go my way. I won the first two rounds and then I got dropped twice in the third, automatic 10-7. That ended up getting him the win. And you know, it sucks. No one likes to lose. I don't like losing anything. It could be a fucking game of Monopoly, and I'm pretty fucking upset if I lose.
Sure.
Um, but you know what I mean? It's a hard pill to swallow, especially being up two rounds and then getting dropped like that. It sucks, but loss, it's a part of life. And if we don't have loss, we're not going to grow. So it's something I'm going to, just learn from, get better. And honestly, man, after going through that, stepping in there, which, a lot of people will never do, but and just processing everything, man, like I am proud of the way I fought. You
Yeah, you
know,
should be.
I seeing the look in his eyes a few times when I was landing my punches on him. Yeah, I mean, it's just it's just tough, man. But I know how hard I tried. I'm really not disappointed in myself at all. It's a game of inches. He beat me by a couple inches, and that's okay. You know, we've seen great fighters lose fights, and we've seen great fighters come back and win. If you look at the two guys that were in my corner, Rick Hahn and Keegan Hordstra, those are two guys that I really look up to, and those are guys they've lost fights before. They've come back and won fights, and it's just a is a very small part of a very long process. So I'll be
Yeah.
back. Whoever I'm fighting next, they better fucking have their shit together because I'm coming after them.
Well, you know what to expect a little bit more if you're doing another kickboxing match, which I know you like your boxing. Did you do any amateur boxing matches before this?
Yeah. So as an amateur boxer, I'm 12-4,
Okay.
and this was my first kickboxing fight, and I will not leave this sport 0-1. That is for sure.
Yeah. Yeah, I mean, yeah, you talk about how much of a competitor you are, and you talk about the gentleman in your corner. I'm familiar with Rick Hahn, judo Olympian, badass dude, right? Um, maybe talk a little bit about that other guy that was in your corner. Cause to be honest, I haven't heard of him. If you want to tell anything else about Rick Hahn, just like talk about like, the guys that are behind you in that.
Yeah, I mean, Rick Hahn, fucking dude's a great leader. Like you said, man, he's an Olympian and he's just a great fighter. He's currently in the BKFC. He's a two-time Bellator Grand Prix winner. I mean, the dude's a savage. And the other guy that I had in my corner, he's been a huge part of this camp. His name's Keegan Hornstra. He's a former WBC Muay Thai champion.
Oh,
The dude's a real deal. He has helped me tremendously, and he helped me so much with the whole weight cut too. He really helped make everything go smooth. But
that's
you know,
dope.
having
Let's,
those two guys behind me, man, like when you go into a fight, obviously everybody has nerves. You butterflies in your stomach, your heart's pounding out of your chest. The demeanor that Keegan and Rick have, they helped me so much with the nerves that I wasn't fucking scared. I really I wasn't scared, man. I wasn't nervous. I was locked in. I was ready to fucking go. I fought my ass off, and you get caught sometimes, but fucker didn't knock me out. I got my ass back up.
yeah, you got up twice and you would have gotten up as many times as you would have needed to get that done, man. Now, am I correct about Hahn? He was a judoka, right?
Yeah, he was
In the
yeah, he
Olympics?
did judo. He was in the Olympics for that. He
Okay.
actually Kayla Harrison used to train at our gym before she went down to American Top Team.
Okay.
And actually funny too, who was just at our gym last Sunday is fucking Ruffy, the guy fighting this
Oh,
week. He
yeah.
was just in the gym last week, but of course I
It's
stopped
roofie.
sparring. I stopped sparring a week out from the fight, and usually we have a group of guys come in on Sundays to spar. So I didn't go that Sunday, and then I see pictures of this fucking guy there, and I was like, "Oh, dude, what the fuck? I would have gone."
Damn. Yeah, Alex, I don't know if it's Ruffy, or Hoofy because he's Brazilian, right? So I don't know if it'd be Hoofy, Ruffy, Roofy. I don't know. Whatever
We
it
all
is.
know it's roofie because he puts people to sleep.
Well, yeah, we can call him that all we want, but I wonder how he pronounces it. We'll be curious to see that come Saturday. But yeah, just to we're not going to talk about the fight too long because Jared, it sounds like he has some good news as well. But dude, listening to the commentators, and I recorded it on my computer because Alex wanted to do something with it. But there was no sound because recording it from a computer. I assumed he would put music over it anyway, so I recorded it and everything. The commentators were talking about how good your hands look, Jared, and it seemed to me, I'm obviously thinking that you're winning every round, right? But I didn't know if the judges and the commentators and everyone else was seeing it that way. Because the first round you absolutely had, objectively you had that. The second round I couldn't tell, but I was like, oh yeah, Jared won that for sure. Just fucking finish this round and you got this. It's cool to know that you were up 2-0, right? And the one thing that dude does, what's the guy's name that you fought?
Luis Castro.
Luis Castro. So he spams these leg kicks, right? And you were staying back perfectly during those leg kicks and you were getting out of range. You were throwing some push kicks to his knees and to his like teep kicks and stuff that were dope. And it seemed like it was really working. And then it seemed like you were focusing on those low kicks. And then that's when he ended up catching you. I don't know if it was you backing up. And this is just me watching, right? I've never fucking gotten in there. But it seemed like there was just something you in your own words you said that you took your foot off the gas. Is that all that you think it was, just simply you taking your foot off the gas, or do you think that you made a misstep or something, or like just what exactly happened?
I would love to come up with some solid excuses as to why that happened, but you know, I did take a really hard fucking nut shot at the end of the
You
second
did.
round.
And you pulled the Alex
I,
Pereira, dude. The
well,
commentators even said
well,
that.
in the first round, I'm sure you saw in the first round, I took a nut shot. That one I brushed off and immediately threw punches. Like he hit me in the nuts and he knew and he stopped for a second. I waved that shit off and immediately threw a three punch combo. The end of the second round, he kicked me square in the fucking balls. My sack is the size of a grapefruit right now. But yeah, going into that third round, um, so my balls obviously hurt, but then all those leg kicks, that accumulative damage, I didn't feel it at all until I stood up for that third round. When I stood up, I was like, "Oh shit, my fucking leg hurts." And he was smart too, man. He started shooting those low kicks again, now that my leg hurts, I'm starting to address them. I wasn't addressing them earlier because I was just willing to walk through whatever to land my punches. But I started addressing those low kicks, and very smart on his end. I started addressing the low kicks. You go up high with it. Watching from the outside, of course, I could have, watching it, I would see that coming. But, when you're in there in the heat of the moment, it's hard it's just much easier said than done.
Sure. Sure. Yeah, it's happening so fast, man. And these were 2 minute rounds as amateur fights, right? So it's happening so fast. You're trying to get off as much damage and move as quick as you can. So, dude, I think that you have nothing to be disappointed about. Obviously, you know that too. It was a very entertaining fight, and I was really happy with how the commentators were talking about it too. They were just like, both these guys got a big future in this sport and everything. And
it was really nice too, actually. Obviously afterwards I'm not in the highest of spirits because I had the fight fucking won and he stole it back at the end. So I go into the locker room. Of course, I'm fucking pissed off. So, I just I have my head down. I'm just thinking. And then I feel a hand on the top of my head and it was Calvin Cater. Calvin Cater made it a point to come in the back room and he said, "Look, dude, you're a fucking warrior. You have a really, really bright future in fighting. I really hope to see you again."
that's
So
awesome.
it was nice. He came back and said that. And as soon as he said that, I just looked up to him and I said, "When's the next card?" And he laughed. He said, "Spoken like a true psychopath," and told me it's in February. And I told him I want in.
Shout
Hell
out to
yeah.
Calvin Cato. Let's go.
So let's get to the good news, though, right? So I tell Cater, next card's February. Fucking, I want in because this shit don't sit right with me. I'm getting this one back. So that's the plan. I'm going to do kickboxing again in February. Until a couple hours ago, I get a text from Rick Hahn. He says, "I just talked to Chris Lytle. I got you a spot. BKFC is coming back to Mohegan February 1st. So I will be making my bare knuckle debut February 1st."
Fuck
Let's
yeah.
So
go.
so me and Rick Hahn will both be fighting on that bare knuckle card.
Yo,
I
I
think
gotta make
that's your
my.
sport.
That is amazing. I'm so hyped. I'm gonna drop the balance. But I just gotta say, I love the debut. My man showed pure heart and chin. Only statement I gotta make is that it didn't look like you had a good cut, man. You were Charles Oliveira on the scales, man.
Dude, on Friday
You was sunken ass cheeks.
I was all skin and dick on the scale on
And
Friday.
yeah, I was just a little bit worried because you texted me about like 8 hours before the weigh-ins, and you were like, "I'm on weight." And I think we're just gonna have to work on your nutrition a little bit because we want you on weight at the weigh-ins. We don't want you holding that low weight for so long because that could have hurt you late in the fight too. You know what I mean?
Sure.
Yeah, I mean, I'd love to make an excuse like it was a rough cut or something. I was thirsty, obviously, but the cut went smooth, man. I mean, that was me in there. I was everything I've always been in my eyes. It was a new sport for me. Um, I'm as you can see, I got the boxing, man. I'm all about the hands, and I've been kickboxing for 5 months, and I didn't want to wait around for BKFC because they were pushing the shit back with the WNBA team making the playoffs and shit. So there was no set date when they're coming back. And I told Rick, I'm like, "Look, dude, I want to fucking fight somebody. I don't care what the sport is. So like whatever you got, let's fucking run it." And I was offered a kickboxing fight and I took that shit and I don't regret it for a second, man.
Yeah. Yeah, you look great, man. And yeah, we're all proud of you over here. And don't forget and don't, let me make you think that I forgot. I owe you a habanero. So
You do.
now that you're here, if you're going to be here next week, I didn't know if you're going to show up or not. I didn't know if you're going to big league us from now on or what, but I'm going to, if you're here from now on, I'm taking the habanero.
Beautiful. I completely forgot about that till you just said it.
Well, I didn't. I'm actually looking forward to it. So it's not a big deal. But let's get into this card. We bullshit a little bit here, and we got the good news. We talked about Jared's fight a little bit as well. So, you know, BKFC it is, man. February 1st. That's gonna be fucking awesome. So let's go. Let's get on down to this first fight of the evening. And I'll take this first one, man, because I actually have an opinion on this. I don't have an opinion on every fight, but we got Veronica Hardy versus Eduardo Mora. Veronica Hardy, been on a tear lately. She's looking the best that she's ever looked, and she's a favorite for the first time, I think, in her UFC career, if I'm not mistaken. Definitely in her most recent UFC run under Dan Hardy. Eduardo Mora looked like shit at 115 pounds. She's moving up here to 125. It's going to make a big difference for her, I think. She's a bigger girl. Veronica Hardy, I think there's a buy high spot for her and a buy low spot for Mora. I think this is going to be a close fight, but I'm not going to get sucked in to betting this girl that's been an underdog in all of her matches that she's been winning, and now she's a favorite. I got to go with Mora here, and I think that she could. I think that she'll win the decision. I think that her cardio is going to be better at 125, and I think that she's definitely had to have worked on that after getting just out cardioed by Denise Gomez. And yeah, Veronica Hardy, solid fighter, great striker, solid jujitsu too, but she plays off her back quite a bit. And I think Mora's going to capitalize on that, and she's going to get this done. She could finish Hardy with a sub or potentially some ground and pound because she's so much bigger. They say Veronica's 5'4". I think she's shorter than that. She looks shorter than that. And Mora's a big girl. I think she's 5'6". But Jared, what do you think about this matchup?
Well, I'm definitely glad to see more at 125, man. That cutting to 115 had to have been tough for her because she's definitely a bigger girl, you know. This is definitely her rightful weight class, but she's the kind of girl, she's kind of one dimensional to me. She kind of just tries to pressure her way in and shoot double legs and relentlessly shoot takedowns. She's not the cleanest on her feet, and she will not give up on takedowns. And the longer the fight goes, the more sloppy those entries get. She gets a little more desperate. Uh, I just don't see her super comfortable on her feet. She just really, really wants to get this to the ground. And, you know, understandably, because when she does get it to the ground, she does have good control. But, you know, a girl like Hardy, she's a southpaw, very, very in and out style. She got that Taekwondo base, real fast, strong kicks. She's got pretty good movement too. You know, she picks her shots well. Uh, she's definitely not the biggest 125er around. You know, I like to see Mora here at 125, but I really like to see Hardy at 115. But I think this is a kind of a classic striker versus wrestler. I could see Mora maybe having some early success, but I think the longer the fight goes, the more it's going to benefit Hardy. And that clean striking of hers, I think it's going to really start the show the later this fight goes. Chick fight, more than likely going the distance. Veronica Hardy by decisions, my pick.
All right, Alex.
I'm lockstepping with Jared, except that I'm on Mora by decision. I see it going the other way. I think Mora is gonna have so much time and so many points banked. I think the third round could be a little bit sweaty, and I 100% agree. If she doesn't get this fight down, this is gonna be Hardy by a demolition job. But yeah, Hardy.
I don't know why that just happened. Fucking crazy. Keep going.
Hardy's too small in my opinion. I think she's gonna get worked. I think Mora could stack up on damage in the first two rounds so that Hardy might not even have any steam and left in the third. But Hardy has that dog in her. It's hard to bet against Hardy. I'm gonna take the value side. I do love the over in this fight as well. But there's also a double method that I don't mind. Mora decision, Hardy by sub is something I wouldn't mind. I think she's gonna have a lot of opportunities to finish as well. So be wary with this fight. This is a toss up. I'm gonna go over. I'm gonna go Mora by decision.
Okay. Yeah. So yeah. I mean, it sounds like you're agreeing with me on the pick, but the things that you're worried about are the same things that Jared's worried about, but he's on the other side. So at least we don't all agree on this first fight of the night because that usually goes bad for us. So one of us is winning this thing. Second fight of the night, we got Oban Elliott, the Welsh gangster, versus Basil Hafez. Uh, Not too high on either one of these guys, to be honest, man. But Alex, what do you think? You can start this one off. What do you think about this matchup here?
Been back and forth with this one. I thought the odds were a little bit wide. I know Basil is plus 200 now, if I'm not mistaken. Correct. Yes, plus 215 in some spots. That's a little bit wide. I thought this was a 50-50 fight. Both guys are good. They're well rounded. It's just. It, Oban's gonna look better, and he's gonna be the smarter fighter here, and that's why I think that the line is wide, is because they know this guy's fight IQ. He's not gonna go out here and strike just for the crowd. He's gonna fight to win. Whereas Basil's fighting for the crowd. He's kind of got that Michael Chandler problem going on where he goes out there and he just puts on a good show. But he's a fan favorite, and it's hard not to bet with this guy because if this fight stays standing, we've seen Oban get clipped a lot, like against Woodburn. That first round didn't look too good. So I'd be scared if this fight isn't standing. I think Oban has to mix it up. And Basil definitely can get taken down. So I think Oban's the better wrestler. I think he can hang with Basil on the feet. I think he might Basil will have some moments, but I think it's gonna be a sweaty decision. I think Elliott's gonna eke out like a split decision, but I'm not putting any money on this fight. This one's gonna be good to watch.
All right. Jared, what do you got?
I think it's a pretty good look with the split decision because this is going to be a war. I think real good matchup. These guys have a lot of similarities. You know, Hafez, he's a pretty tough, well-rounded dude, but his gas tank is a very scary thing to get behind. I know that's something that you can improve on, but after the Jack Della fight on short notice, I figured that's when we were going to see his cardio kind of take a turn for the better. But against Mickey Gall, I thought he was going to walk through him, and it was everything but that. And it was very telling of kind of just where he's at, and that gas tank, man. It's hard to get behind for me. And then Elliott on the other side, he's another tough guy, fairly well rounded. Um, Never in a boring fight. This guy's on like a CTE speed run. I think these guys are going to go to war. It's a good matchup. It feels like a coin flip, but yeah, I'm going to say Elliott can probably edge this one out. So I think buckle up for a good fight, but I'm going to go with Elliott by decision.
Elliot by decision. Yeah, man. I don't like Oban Elliott at all. Basil is he's a likable guy and all this stuff. He seems pretty cool. But I just think that everyone rated Hafez so highly after he competed on short notice with Jack Della Maddalena. Jack Della Maddalena didn't seem like he was performing at his best because he had like three or four opponents switch out, right? So it was a weird week for him. I think he cut weight twice in a matter of like a week or two. So getting Basil Hafez's probably best performance and then getting JDM's worst, a lot of people rated him really highly off that. We saw that with Gilbert Burns after giving a competitive loss up to Hamzat, right? And Gilbert Burns hasn't looked very good since then either. So I think we see the same thing. Now we're talking about Mickey Gall a little bit with Hafez. I think Mickey Gall is underrated. Like I see the record, but you got to remember, like this dude started his career in the UFC. Basically, I think he had one fight before he got in the UFC. So, it's interesting. It's a great matchup, I think, especially this early on in the card. But I got to come around to Oban Elliott. I have to because he's worked with Chael Sonnen. Chael Sonnen's one of those guys that finds ways to win, and these wrestlers tend to do that. It's a different mentality that wrestlers have, where if there's any level of skill that these wrestlers have, they're able to push through and find a way to win. And I think that Oban does that here. They could have a star over there in Oban Elliott if he continues doing what he's doing. He's got to be a little more entertaining. He doesn't finish anyone lately. I guess in Cage Warriors he was a lot more entertaining. But yeah, Oban Elliott's probably going to win here. The split decision is a good look, but I think it could be unanimous. Honestly, just barely edging out every single round. Yeah, give me Oban Elliott. Easy pick for me here. Next up, speaking of Mickey Gall, he's fighting higher up on the card than the dude that beat him, which is interesting. Mickey Gall versus Ramiz Brahimaj. Another good matchup. Jared, this is yours to start with.
Yeah, real good matchup here. I mean, Braimaj, he's a dude that when he fights, you see he shows a lot of patience. He doesn't rush anything. He has some solid power, but I think he ultimately does want to grapple. But yeah, when he's on his feet, man, he's very closed. He keeps a very tight guard, tries to keep things very technical. He doesn't reach, he doesn't really overextend, but he doesn't really have the highest output. he does stay pretty sharp, but he's kind of low output, and that could cost him at times. But with Mickey Gall, man, I was very, very harsh on him breaking down his fight against Hafez. Going into that fight, I was very, very harsh on him. I thought Hafez was going to absolutely walk through him. And, I was sitting there saying this guy's kind of one dimensional trash, but he made me sweat and he fought a very, very hard fight. One of the best things I can say about him is he has some very slick, sneaky grappling. He could maybe be a little bit chinny, but you know, I think it's a good fight, and I see Gall maybe pulling a fluky sub out of his ass. Maybe Brahimaj lands some power shots. They end up in a weird exchange on the ground, and Gall is the kind of guy. He's one of those grapplers that he's an opportunist. He'll take whatever you give him. You leave something hanging out there, he's gonna fucking go for it. So I'm gonna say Gall can pull a random submission in round two.
Okay. Yeah, I don't think anyone told you, Jared. You don't have to necessarily pick the method and rounds anymore. We're doing like we changed up our method a little bit after we had to do a short show. You can still continue to do that if you want because it is fun and you get to kind of drop your nuts on the table if you call one of those round two subs or something like that. But I mean, yeah, I can't agree with you more on that. I was kind of alluding to it earlier. I think you got to go Mickey Gall here. He's the dog in this spot, right? Unless it's flipped. Um, he dropped as the favorite. Who's the favorite here?
Wait, so what are we calling now? Just money lines or fucking what are we
Just
doing?
anything that you
Your
want.
favorite bet,
Yeah, anything that you want.
the leans.
I don't know. The other way was better.
I thought
You
so
guys
too,
are
but
gay.
we can go back to that. We were just trying to keep it short one time, and then when
Better,
Harry
we're
comes
trying
on,
to
he
make
never
people
fucking
money here.
Yeah,
when
that's why
Harry
we give
comes
out
on,
bets at the end.
I gotta drag the method and the fucking round out of him 3 or 4
Oh
times.
yeah,
Gotta
you
ask
gotta
him.
fucking pull that shit out. He forgets every single time.
I know. I don't know how he does it. He's a smart dude and he forgets every time. But no, so yeah, we can go back to the method round. I like that more too. But yeah, when we're on a time crunch, we'll do the quicker picks and stuff. But um
Mickey goes minus 125. I think
okay.
he should be the favorite here. I
Yeah.
think he's better on the feet. I think he has the higher volume. I mean, he won a round on the feet against Mike Perry. I mean, I give him a little bit more credit. I think he is a little bit underrated. But I think Ramiz is a way better BJJ practitioner. Even the records say this guy got like all 10 wins by submission. I'd have to.
Mickey Gall never been submitted.
That's okay. I think this is just a different level compared to what he's used to. If I'm betting Mickey Gall, I think he can win by KO or decision, but you have to have the double method here and have Ramiz by submission. And yeah, I think that's how you play this fight. I do like an under. I just think if it goes to a decision, Gall's wet blanketing and out voluming Ramiz. So
Okay.
I guess I'm gonna go Gall decision, but when I bet this, I'm having Ramiz on the other end by sub.
Yeah, I like Gall by round two knockout, I think, because I think that Brahim Maj might get a takedown or two, and then this will get a little sloppier after that. But yeah, I think Gall's good, man. He started off his career fighting fucking Mike Johnson and CM Punk. Obviously, that's not high level UFC competition. Make no mistake, CM Punk still beat a lot of people up on the street. When you get to the UFC level and you're fighting these guys, I don't think he won a fucking fight in MMA. No, he didn't. He only fought once though, and had a no contest with Mike Jackson because Mike Jansen was smoking weed. Um, he's beat some good dudes, man. Fucking Sage Northcutt is still good. Like I know he wasn't like all that he was cracked up to be. And he's losing to really good fighters. Mike Perry's a dog. Diego Sanchez was really good back in 2019. Basil Hafez, obviously, someone that a lot of people like. Mike Malott, Alex Morono. These are good fighters. And Brahim Maj isn't on that level. So let's move on to the fourth fight of the night. Interesting matchup. A little bit of a well-rounded vet versus a glory kickboxer here in Marcin Tybura versus Jonata Denise. And I think I'm back up here. Tybura is the better fighter with age, even, right? I mean, he's quite a bit older here. Um, what is he? Fucking 39 to 33, 6-year age difference. But Denise has this weird factor about him. It's almost like the thing that all the kids are saying these days, the aura. The aura's there for this guy. And he's got the momentum going. He was supposed to fight Derek Lewis. I think he definitely was going to beat Derek Lewis because Derek Lewis doesn't wrestle with anybody. But Marcin Tybura can make this tough, man. He really can. Like he's like I said, he's more well-rounded. He's a veteran in this sport. He's not going to mess around on the feet with Denise. And Denise is useless off of his back. He's absolutely fucking useless. So I got to go Tybura here. I have to go Tybura just because he has more ways to win. Um, Denise, if Tybura gets an early takedown, I want to see him shoot inside of 30 seconds, inside of 10 seconds, because Denise's only way to win this, I think, is round one knockout. Um, he couldn't have improved his takedowns that much over like a 2 or 3 month period. I don't know when he fought last. He fought back in August. So yeah, we're talking 3 months at this point. No, 2 months. And no, that is 3 months. I was right the first time. And yeah, dude, I just got to go with Tybura. I don't like the pick. I wouldn't necessarily follow that money line. And I would take Tybura by decision, just kind of wet blanketing this and making it kind of boring. He's not going to give a fuck about the booing. Neither one of these guys are hometowners. They're both foreigners as far as the New Yorkers are concerned. So yeah, give me Tybura. Boring decision. Jared, what do you got?
Sorry, Mr. Kitty feels the need to fucking knock everything off the table.
Dude, that's got to be your bare knuckle nickname, Mr. Kitty. I keep
Mr.
saying it.
Kitty,
Jared, Mr. Kitty Lennon.
strong consideration. Dude, it's a pen. He's all fucking here.
Give him the pen. Maybe he wants to fucking write something. He's gonna write notes for your fighting down right here for your fucking picks. He's writing all your picks down.
No, now he's trying to unplug my fucking headphones. This fight's a big who cares for me. Didn't really look at it much or put much thought into it. I'm just gonna side with Denise, say he finds a knockout in the second, but nothing that my money will be anywhere near.
I like it. Short and sweet. Alex.
I actually like a finish here. I was curious to see the odds. But yeah, I think if Denise gets taken down, it's going to be over by sub. And I think if it stays standing long enough, I don't think Tabur is as durable as what I saw Carl Williams go through. Carl Williams was taking some very heavy shots on the feet from Denise. I was shocked that fight. I was shocked by the durability of Williams. I was really impressed. And I don't think Tabura will last for that. So I think the double method here is live as well. Tabura, sub, Denise, KO. You definitely be laying juice on that. But the fight doesn't go the distance, minus 300. It's lined where it should be. And that's probably the play I think is going to hit on this.
Well, the round line's definitely going to be set at 1.5.
Yes, obviously. But as far as the pick, I'm going to go Tabura gets a round one sub. Not confident though.
Tabura gets a round one sub. All right. Next fight of the night, another kind of who cares. When they get John Jones and fucking Charles Oliveira, Michael Chandler, Bo Nickel fighting, they're not stacking the cards like they should, right? This is a pay-per-view, and the prelims are very weak. This is a top-heavy card. We got our guy Marcus McGee in the featured prelim though, so that's always fun. But this is another who cares fight. Jim Miller, Damon Jackson, Jim Miller. I saw someone talking about if you were going to set the retirement line, like how many fighters are going to retire on this card, would you set it at 1.5 or 2.5? And I was thinking about that, and I was like, I think you got to set it at 2.5 because Jim Miller could retire. Stipe Miocic is going to retire. John Jones could retire. Chris Weidman could retire. Fucking, that's about it. So yeah, I mean, you got 4 fighters that could definitely retire. One's definitely going to. I think Stipe Miocic retires after this.
It's a good bet. I would take that over 1.5.
Over 1.5. What about 2.5? You're gonna go under 2.5?
2.5 depends on the odds. 2-1 on 2.5 maybe, but I'll lay 1-1 on the 1.5.
Yeah.
What, over under on retirements?
Yeah, 1.5.
Oh, dude, over 1.5 is smashing.
Yeah. Because that's what I'm saying, dude.
Yeah.
I think both fighters in the main event retire after this.
Me too.
So yeah, I would go with the over because I think that Miller should retire. He's not talking about it. But anyway, back to the fight. Jim Miller versus Damon Jackson. Alex, I think you're up on this.
Gotta go Jim Miller, baby. Gotta go Jim Miller. The double method is also live on this. I had one written down. It's Jim Miller KO, Jackson decision. Because Jackson get them takedowns. He can get the wet blanket him. We've seen Miller get lay on his back for 3 rounds before in the past. Could happen. It's a scenario. I love the Miller finish only line. I do like that. You're probably gonna be laying juice on that. But I think the Miller KO is live, and here's why. Jackson in his last fight, it's 3 months ago, two months, couple weeks ago, against Shepe in a fight he got brutalized in. I mean, against Bobby Green, he got crushed too. But I think coming back after that 2 months is a little bit too soon. And I do kind of like a finish here in this fight. I'm going to go Miller finds the chin in round one. I think these are the guys who put on a show for the crowd. And here's another thing. The old gloves are back. I don't know if you guys heard that yet. It's going viral everywhere. The old gloves are back for this card.
Interesting. I feel like they were back for the last card too, because there was a shitload of finishes and knockouts with punches. So maybe they were back before. I don't know. But yeah, Jared, you can go ahead and go next.
Yeah, I'll make mine quick. And like you said, I would say this is kind of a who cares fight, but after over 30 something UFC fights, everyone's a Jim Miller fan.
Mhm.
Uh, Damon Jackson is a dude that obviously he's a wrestler who he needs it on the ground. His striking definitely leaves a lot to be desired. Uh, Now, much like Jim Miller, I think with Damon Jackson, his best days are definitely behind him. You can say the same for Miller. He's old, but hey, man, he's still fucking solid everywhere. I'm kind of looking at this for Miller as one more ride, and then I mean, you knock out a guy like Damon Jackson at Madison Square Garden, ride off into the sunset. He's got nothing else to prove in this sport. The guy's, he's a legend. So I'm gonna say Miller finds a knockout. Call it the second round.
Okay. Yeah, I just wish that, some of Jim Miller's wins would have been a little bit better. I would argue that his best win was Thiago Alves. Um, I mean, he beat Donald Cerrone, but that was in 2022. Donald Cerrone was pretty cooked at that point. Who's his best win, man? Clay Guida?
I think, yeah, I mean, well, you got to think about the timing of it too, right?
Sure. And I love the guy. His Instagram's cool as fuck. He's like all about like being a man, all that shit. I like that shit.
I know. Every time I look at his Instagram, it's all just a bunch of hell yeah, brother.
He beat Charles Oliveira. That was when
Oh, there
Charles
you go.
Oliveira was a quitter, though.
Yeah,
Uh,
well, it's still the same guy.
still the same heart and same man. But
Charles got to be his best win.
who's that?
Charles is his best win.
It is like on paper, but yeah, I'm talking about at the time. I think it's Thiago Alves. Because yeah, Charles Oliveira, that was when he was like 7-7 or 8 and fucking 7.
Yeah,
Um,
but the thing is though, like you can't look at just talking about his wins because I mean, even in his losses, he's looked impressive. I don't know, it was fucking mad long ago, but he had a razor close fight with Dustin Poirier, and
okay.
even when Anthony Pettis was fucking in his prime, he had a fucking scrap with Pettis.
When the fuck did he fight Dustin Poirier?
It was I couldn't tell you what year it was. It was quite
UFC
some time
208.
ago.
Oh yeah, 208. Okay. Yeah, it was a majority decision. I hold Dustin Poirier in very high regard. So yeah, and Anthony Pettis lost, Dan Hooker lost, Charles Oliveira lost to the second time they fought. But yeah, no, I'm a big fan of him too. But yeah, Damon Jackson has an off button, and it's not that hard to push. Like you can definitely shut Damon Jackson off. I think these dudes are going to grapple a lot, and that is Damon Jackson's wheelhouse. So I gotta lean Damon Jackson here. I gotta do it. Like it just makes sense to me. Jim Miller just took a fucking beating by Bobby Green. Like that's a life-changing, career-changing beating. And I don't think that you come back the same from that, even though it was in April of this year. That's a big, big difference for a older guy. And he's already been through a lot of wars. I think that was like the icing on top, and he might have an off button now. Damon Jackson can knock people out. It's very rare, but he can do it. He did it to Pat Sabatini, who is pretty chinny as well. But yeah, just to be a little different here, I wouldn't get too crazy with the Damon Jackson sprinkle. He's definitely a dog in this spot. Um, but well, no, he's actually a slight favorite. So unless I was looking at the wrong line, but yeah, give me Damon Jackson. Give me Damon Jackson. A lot of people might be low on Miller after that last performance, and I am one of them. So moving on. Jared, you can take this Chris Weidman, Eric Anders matchup. You got the New York guy. There's no one no more New Yorker of a guy than Chris fucking Weidman. Even when they show him in the countdown, he's not training. He's not doing nothing. He's out there. He's bragging about a new leaf blower that he got. And he's blowing leaves around his yard. That's some New York old man shit. And that's what this dude's doing right now. But he's set up to win here against Eric Anders. Does he have some fight karma coming back to him with the double eye poke fucking win over Bruno Silva, who is now out of the UFC? Eric Anders up there in age two. What do you think about the matchup, Jared?
I think we might have to set this retirement line at a little bit higher than 1.5.
He was included. He's included as one of the potential. I put four down, and he's one of the four.
I mean, we got him, Miller, Jones, and Stipe. Those are the four, right?
Yeah,
Yeah.
potentially Anders. Anders could retire too. He's getting up there.
Oh, that's a sleeper. Not bad.
Yeah.
But yeah, dude, this fight, I mean, if there is a 1-800 gambler fight on the card, we're fucking looking at it.
Well, I'm going to be
Um,
betting it. So
oh, yikes. I mean, we know Weidman's nearing the finish line here. We know Anders is about as unreliable as it gets. Um, I wouldn't touch this fight with a 10-foot pole. But yeah, like you said, I do think this is set up for Weidman to win. Just because they're setting him up for a win does not mean he's going to get it. But yeah, I would pick Weidman here. I would imagine it goes long and gets a little sloppy towards the end. Maybe a little double eye poke finish for good times. But yeah, I'm going to go with Weidman to edge out a decision here. Just not a fight I'm super interested in.
yeah, it's tough. Weidman pulls at the heartstrings of every real American coming out to Tom Petty. I won't back down, right? Um, for
It's a
me,
dope
man,
walkout song.
it is a good walkout song. Tom Petty,
Hey,
one of my
what'd you think about the Pantera walkout?
I liked it. It was pretty sick. You made it a little bit better though, just because you looked pissed off. The other guy looked more like kind of calculated and calm, and you looked like ready to rock. So like, yeah, if you came out like it's different. Like Alex Pereira when he walks out, I think that he should walk out to the Shining theme song because
Ooh.
it's a Native American fucking song in the background. It's actually Native Americans screaming because that whole movie is about the Native American genocide. And if he was to walk out with that stoic face with that fucking music playing, that orchestra playing, that would be scary as fuck. But if you're walking out to that song and you're jumping around doing crazy shit, it doesn't hit the same. It's like, what the fuck is this dude doing? But you came in on business with that song playing, and I think it worked perfectly for you there. So,
Yeah,
good.
two very, very different walkouts, the two of us.
Yeah, very much. Yeah, dude. Yeah, but don't ever try and take someone else's walkout. That's corny as fuck. You know that.
Fuck no.
Yeah, and then don't ever do the post-fight celebration like what's his fucking name did, where he shot like 17 fucking arrows into
Oh my
whoever.
God, that was so bad, dude.
Was that Onama?
Was it no no ah
It
it
wasn't
was
Karimbo.
Onama. What it wasn't Gruba. No, it was Onama. We're just racist.
I know it was one of those very, very black dudes, like Africa black
But
dude.
he was like pulling him out the wrong spot and shit too.
I know he's like going
It's
like all
like,
on.
bro.
Yeah, it was the worst. So yeah, just
And the
give yourself.
arrow thing it, like had meaning to it when Adesanya did it, you know what I mean? And then like he just like bro just
I must have missed this one. Which Onama win was this?
oh
Uh,
he fucking knocked somebody out and then like he was like spamming imaginary arrow. Like remember when Izzy got Pereira and did like the three
Yeah.
arrows? He just fucking kept pulling them and pulling them. It was fucking so stupid.
it was when he knocked out Gabriel Santos. Yeah, and he wasn't
Don't
like
pull that up for me.
Israel Adesanya. I'll try and
Watch
pull it
it.
up. Israel Adesanya is very graceful when he's fighting, and so he's pulling him out like, and it looks like he's actually doing it. Onama's just going like this, just grabbing arrows from his ass, and it was the worst. Let me see if I can find this real quick. You guys banter about something for like 2 minutes.
Well, I'm gonna tell you right now, I'm on Eric Anders. I think he's gonna win a boring ass decision, even though he almost got knocked out by Jamie Pickett. And I really shouldn't be betting him here because Weidman could easily just jab him into oblivion. But I'm gonna go with Eric Anders. I think he's just got the better cardio at the end of the day. So I'm gonna go with Eric Anders wins the decision. But woo, you know what it is? Weidman is 1-3 in New York. 1-3 in your own hometown. Give me that. Take
I think
that.
he's 0-3 in Madison Square too.
Oh, I don't know about that, but I know he only has one win in New York State, and I was like, ooh,
That wasn't his last one, right? Because that was in Jersey.
that one. It wasn't that one. I didn't count that one.
Okay. Well, here, exit your screen share real quick, and then I'll show you this fucking shit show of this horrible, horrible, uncoordinated celebration. I don't know if this is going to show it. It's definitely going to show the knockout, but then this one definitely. Oh yeah, you can just see it here. We'll just
Yeah,
show
there you
this.
go.
All right, here we go. Ready? Let's go. That was just the end.
Boo.
Maybe they're gonna go back to the other one. So yeah, they're showing it in slow motion. Okay, well,
Nah, that's not a good one.
let's see. So this is the finish. Yeah, this will definitely show it. It's a good finish, and he should have just walked away.
Yeah,
Been cool. Look
yeah.
at
Would have been cold. He's like pulling him out his chest, dude.
shot like 5 arrows, and they weren't even like pulled out well. We'll play it again. Look at
2, 3, 4, 5.
4.5.
He had 6 ready. He had 6 ready to go.
It's just
Like,
it's
dude,
bad.
you can't copy another fighter's thing. Like, it's so fucking corny.
Well, and it's bad. You know, the only one that can do it though, Jared, Ilya Taporia. He can copy McGregor because he's already better
Oh
than
yeah,
McGregor. He has the same back tattoo. He does the same warm up thing where he shakes his, he can
yeah.
copy
He's
McGregor.
he's got a lion tattooed on him too. It
Yeah.
is funny that his has his own face in the middle. Like, imagine how much you have to love yourself to get your own face tattooed on you.
He is a cocky, smug motherfucker, but I bet on him to knock out Max Holloway in rounds 2 or 3. So I was very happy. So he's my guy. Um, but yeah, let's keep going here into the next fight of the evening. I'm forgetting who we just covered. We covered I didn't even give my pick. I got in this one. It's tough, dude. It's tough with Weidman and Anders because Anders, I think, is, he's flaky, like you said, but I think he's definitely the better athlete. He's just going to have the same game plan as Weidman wants. And Weidman's got the better takedowns, I think, even at his age, unless Weidman gets hurt. Because I still don't put that past him. He can still get hurt, shooting for a takedown. He could tweak a leg. He could do something. This dude's out there talking about mowing his lawn instead of showing training footage. I think that he could definitely get hurt, but I think there's going to be a lot of cage pushing, and the crowd's going to be booing the fuck out of Anders if he gets a takedown and he's stalling out. The ref's going to stand him up. If Weidman's on top stalling out, the crowd's going to be going nuts. So yeah, I got to go Weidman decision. Unless there's an early knockout by one of these guys, this has like a 80 fucking percent chance of going the distance. So Weidman decision, probably a pretty boring fight, but Jonathan Martinez versus Marcus McGee is next, and I'll go first here on this one. Um, Jonathan Martinez, I guess he left Factory X, and now he's at a different gym. And from what I understand, it's like him and his friends that are just kind of doing this gym, and that usually doesn't work out for people. And he's taking on someone like Marcus McGee, who's training out of a solid gym and MMA lab. They kind of been on a cold streak lately, right? MMA lab losing a lot of fights, including a title fight with Sean O'Malley, fucking Kyler Murray, or no, not Kyler Murray. Why do I always call him that? Fucking Kyler Phillips. Always, seemed like a tough dude. And this is why I have to wear my glasses for the rest of the year because I did a glasses bet with Alex here. And he took, who was the guy you took there? I'm forgetting.
Rob Font.
Local legend for you guys there.
It was
Rob
the
Font.
dumbest bet Alex could have. Like, Alex, you picked like a
Cut
plus
off the hype.
400.
Well, I mean, all he had to do was eat a pepper, and now I have to wear my glasses for the rest of the year.
Yeah,
So,
but that's what I'm saying. Like, he shouldn't had wanted you to like. Who cares? You wear glasses. Like, make him eat like 4 peppers for each plus 100. Like, you know what I mean? Like, it should have been like if Alex lost, he has to eat a pepper. If you lose, and you have to eat like fucking 3. But instead, no, you just have to wear your glasses like you do every day. It's
well, I
fucking
usually wear contacts when I'm on here.
yeah. Well, it's still fucking it gives I hope
It's
him
just
wearing glasses
annoying.
gives you satisfaction because it does nothing
I
nothing
don't even
for
think
me.
he would notice if next week I just wore my contacts. He'd probably forget.
Oh my God, you might have to test the waters a little
I
bit.
well, no, I'm a man of my word. That's why I reminded you about the habanero fucking thing because I'm
That's
not one of
fair.
these bitches that bails out on bets.
That is
So,
fair.
and I would expect the same from either one of you gentlemen here.
I'm just
Um,
saying a totally uneven bet. Alex should have you picked a plus 400, man. You could have gotten away with a lot more than just some glasses.
well, no, he was trying to make me wear the glasses for the rest of the show, like the rest of its
Like the
eternity.
rest of eternity.
Yeah.
It's fucking it's all
So
right. It's a little much.
I was like, no, I'm not going to do that, dude. Because I hate wearing these. They're not the right prescription. You know, they make me dizzy if I wear them too long. So yeah, it was a good bet because it hit. You know, he didn't have to eat a pepper and I have to wear these stupid fucking glasses for the next 2 months. So, you know, he won. Good to him. But yeah, back to this, man. Jonathan Martinez. I am I crazy to think that this is a buy low spot on Martinez? I love Marcus McGee. He lost to the one of the fucking best fighters of all time. I know he's old, but Jose Aldo's still winning. He won that fight against Kyler Phillips. I don't give a fuck what anyone says. He won that fight. Dana White even thought that he won that fight. Everyone thinks that he won that fight, and everyone fucking hates. Or no, it wasn't. Was it
You
Kyler
Mario
Phillips?
Bautista you're thinking
Mario
of.
Bautista. Sorry, I'm confusing all these fucking MMA lab guys. They're all Mexican. So it was a very boring performance by Bautista. Bautista stock dropped so much in that win, and Jose Aldo's did not go down at all. Jose Aldo's old, but he's still got some of the crispest hands in the UFC. I don't care what weight class we're talking. And they were so crispy that someone like Bautista, who's a pretty well-rounded dude, wanted nothing to do with that. And he pulled the old fucking Georgian. You know what I mean? He pulled that out and he just wanted to lean against the cage for a little while. So it's a buy low spot on Martinez, but McGee is a beast, man. I love Marcus McGee. He's so good at what he does. He's only 4 years older than Martinez. I wouldn't hate anyone for taking a Martinez bet here, but I think that McGee has more ways to win. And if he can just avoid those leg kicks, because that's Martinez really his only weapon. I'm going to be honest. Like, I think that's his only fucking weapon. He's good with the hands. He's good at defensive grappling. He's decent with the offensive grappling. But McGee has more ways to win, and I think he's more motivated. He's at a big gym with some solid training partners. Martinez is with his boys in a garage, it sounds like now. I feel like everyone's on McGee, and that scares the fuck out of me, but I got to go McGee. Probably a ground and pound knockout in round 1 or 2. I think that he tries to get this done early, and the guy's a beast. He's very fucking strong. He's athletic. Martinez is kind of a lanky, scrawny dude. As long as McGee can avoid those leg kicks, he can definitely get past Martinez and knock him out here. But I wouldn't hate anybody at all for taking this buy low spot on Martinez. Jared, what do you think?
Yeah, I think I'm taking Martinez. I do love this fight though. This is I think this is gonna be a really, really entertaining fight. Um, McGee, he has a lot, he moves around a lot when he's fighting. The dude fucking shows a lot of movement. He switches stances pretty often, but from his orthodox stance, like he switches stances kind of just to switch stances. Like when he switches to orthodox, he doesn't really get a ton of offense off. He's kind of just I don't know if he thinks it looks cool or what he's doing, but he'll switch stances and not do anything with it and then take a step back and go back to where he's comfortable at southpaw. And if he's fucking around like that, the second he goes to orthodox, he's going to get calf kicked. And he's a very explosive dude. He's got big power. When he's throwing his combos, he mixes in body shots. I mean, this dude's good. And he's got some strong wrestling. It's his best bet probably to use it here instead of looking for a big shot. You know, Because if he goes, he has big power and he does rely on it at times. But a guy like Martinez, he's got that thing that can't be taught, and that's having that dog in him. It's if you're gonna, you got to put him out because I could see him wearing a lot of the power shots well, and as long as this fight stays on the feet, I do think Martinez has the advantage. I think he's more than just a leg kick. He sets everything up with that rear leg, but you never know where that fucking rear leg's going to land. And it's not just landing those kicks, but it's how he follows them up after. I just think he's fast, he's accurate, he's very technical, and that's his style. And I think it works for him really well. But he's got that dog in him. It's southpaw versus southpaw, so that liver kick is going to be there. Which being a southpaw fighting orthodox people, you don't get the opportunity to hit people in the liver too much because it's so far away from you. Southpaw versus southpaw, it's going to be there. So I think that's definitely something to watch out for. But I'm all over Martinez. I give McGee his respect. I think it does go long. I think this guy's a tough dude with absolutely a future in the UFC. But I think Martinez is going to check him here, and I'll say he gets it done by decision.
You're not concerned about the gym move?
You can change the environment, but he's still the same guy. And for all we know, the guys that he's with in that garage, he could be with guys that he was training with at Factory X, the same people that he worked with the whole time there. Now they're just not in that building, but it's still the same group of people. And I mean, dude, humble spots like garages and basements, man, that's where legends are made. So it doesn't bother me,
Okay. And yeah, I will also push back on one thing that you said, that his leg kicks aren't his only weapon. His last two finishes are by leg kicks.
which is
So
very impressive. But that doesn't mean that's all he's got.
it's not all that he's got, but that's what I was saying. That's like his only dangerous
I would
weapon.
agree with you that it's his best weapon, but
Okay.
I wouldn't say it's his only weapon.
Okay. I got one more question for you after Alex gives his pick here, since you are the fighter on the panel. I'm curious about something with leg kicks, but
They
Alex, what do
hurt
you got?
after a
I'm
What?
while.
pretty confident actually because politically, I think this fight goes anywhere close goes to McGee. He's the older fighter trying to get into the ranks, so they're anything close. They're gonna want to use him to build bigger fights since he's late in his career. And I was very fascinated by the odds here. I thought the odds should have been flipped. McGee should 100% be a dog here. He's fighting a guy who has triple the professional experience as him, fought better guys than him, and he's an underdog to him. It's screaming a trap to me. But McGee has the equalizer here, and that's just having that finishing capability at bantamweight, which is actually quite rare to find nowadays in this era of these Pedro Munoz here who never gets knocked out, and it's just he's the equalizer, and I think him by finish only is a free bet here. I don't see him getting finished. I think he's a dog, and I think when Martinez fights at top level of competition, it's pretty clear that he's outmatched. Like Saeed Nurmagomedov. I think that was an absolute robbery. Um, I just think he's focused on other things. But let's just see. I do hate betting McGee as a favorite. I'm waiting for that line to flip, and it is. It's coming down. But I think McGee's going to win a decision, and I wouldn't be shocked if it was a robbery. But I think politically, that's why McGee's the favorite.
Are they both minus money right now, Alex?
No, Martinez is plus 120 or plus 110 around there.
Where'd he open? Because
Um,
Tapology showing plus 100 for Martinez. I know that's not the books, but where do you know where he opened at? Let's see. Let's see. Checking. While you're looking for that, the question that I had for you, Jared, was what makes like Martinez's leg kick so dangerous? Because you got to think, like, if you're just throwing fucking heat at someone else's shin bone, I know that they're aiming for the calf, but I mean, we've seen it before. Dudes fucking throw hard leg kicks and then they break their own leg. So like what makes it so effective to actually like be able to land leg kicks consistently to hurt somebody over, four or five of them? Because Alex Pereira's good at it, Justin Gaethje's good at it, Martinez obviously good at it. But like, is it just that thin of a margin to where you can just break your own leg throwing a hard ass leg kick like that, or is there more to it than that?
I think it's I don't think it's so much the power of those kicks. I think it's the speed, how fast he's getting those things off, and like leg kicks aren't thrown to be like a to finish the fight. Like it's a cumulative damage. Like, you know, the guy that he's kicking with those kicks, he might not those kicks really might not bother him all that much for 5 minutes. And then as it goes on, next thing you know, you can't move the same way on that leg. I think it's the speed that adds up to the cumulative damage instead of just going for, kick you so hard your fucking leg breaks or my leg breaks or just kick you in the same spot over and over and over again. And then there's finally going to be the one that sits you down.
Okay. Well, yeah, I mean,
That's how I see it. I mean, I'm not a fucking kicker, you know what I mean? But
well, yeah, I mean, the reason I was asking you is because you were catching some leg kicks in your amateur debut, right? So it's just like
yeah,
that's why I was asking. It's like, what did you think it was about your opponent that was doing that?
but yeah,
So
like I was saying before, they didn't bother me at all
yeah,
until
until
the I stood up for the third round, and that's when I started realizing how bad my leg hurt. But it
okay,
was yeah, which that kind of slows and that'll slow the movement of people too.
right,
I
yeah,
just
that's
think
what that
that's
one's
why
for.
he's so successful. He just fucking throws them so fast. You so fast you can't even check them.
Okay, Alex, what was that opening line for this fight?
One line had it at around 120, but most of them opened up at even.
Okay, for the Martinez McGee fight, it opened up at even. Yeah, if McGee swells to a big favorite by fight night, I might go Martinez too, just because I think this is a buy low spot on him. But I'm a little worried about the gym move because Factory X is a striking gym, and moving away from that into doing your own thing it's usually not a good thing. Look at who the fuck did it? The not the doctor. Who's the fucking guy? The striker. I know that doesn't narrow it down. He got submitted by Kevin Holland recently, very recently. You know who I'm talking about?
Olin Jacek?
Olin Jacek, yeah, Lord Mihal. I mean, that dude started his own thing and he's looked like shit since then. So I don't know. Who knows? We won't know until we know. But let's move on. Let's move on before anyone gets angry. Mauricio Hoofy. I'm gonna call him Hoofy. I don't know if it's Roofy or Hoofy. I'm calling him Hoofy. He's Brazilian versus James Yontop. Uh, Jan Top had a rough outing his last time. He hasn't really had a good outing since he's been in the UFC. Great fight in the contender series against Malik Lewis, but lost to Chris Padilla. Padilla's a badass, especially on the ground. He's great everywhere, but good on the ground too. Borshev, supposedly this badass kickboxer, but he really hasn't been looking very good lately. And he kind of went blood and guts with him. I don't think that loss really does much for his reputation. A win wouldn't have done much for his reputation either. I actually had Jan Top to win that. And it was close. It was a good fight. It was entertaining. But he's taking on one of these fighting nerds. Apparently, somebody that Jared just saw at his gym and or didn't see, but knew that he was at the gym. Alex, this is yours to start with, man. What do you think about this? I think this is pretty much a striker versus striker in this.
I agree, but Roofy has more ways to win. If he just happens to come in with a grappling game plan, this is going to be the easiest path to victory for him. James is a fish out of water on his back. Roofy should come in, and if his coaches are smart, they'll come in and tell him clinch and grapple with this guy. But, I agree. We could see them come out and strike each other, and in that case, I think it's going to be a little bit closer. James is going to have the volume, but Roofy's going to have the bigger shots landed, and he's fast, and he's a good counterpuncher. They both have a counterpunch style, but I think James is going to be a little bit more available to get hit. And he's going to be throwing the jab out there a little bit more often. So I think James, if he can get to a decision, he could easily outpoint this guy. It's just, I think when he gets hit, he's going to get knocked down. It's not going to look good. I think Roofy's going to have a lot of big moments. And my question is, if James gets knocked down, can he survive on his back when Roofy's on top? And at the end of the day, I don't think it is. I don't think he can. So I'm gonna go Roofy gets a finish. I'm not gonna get greedy and say sub or knockout, but for the sake of the show, we'll go first round sub.
First round sub for Hoofy slash Roofy. We're not sure how the fuck to say his name. Jared, what do you
I'll
think
take
about
it a
this one?
I'll take it a step further and call him a roughie.
Okay, we'll call him whatever we want right now. You can call Yon
Yeah,
Top Lawn Top if you want to.
I was going to, but yeah, I think Ruffy's gonna absolutely walk through lawn top here. I think he's gonna do whatever he wants to this dude. He's too fast, too dynamic. UFC's clearly trying to build him. I mean, what a favor they're doing him. Your first fight, you get Jamie Malarkey. Second fight, you're getting this guy who's 0-2. He's about to get his walking papers. He's going to do whatever he wants to this guy. So I'm going to say he knocks him out round one.
Yeah, I think the UFC is trying to build up the fighting nerds right now
Oh, yeah.
because they realize what a hot gym that is. Kyle Bahalio just fought really fucking well against I whenever I'm trying to just flow like this, I forget names. What's the fucking dude? Black dude that middleweight that just fought Kyle Bahalio. Alex, you know his name. The Cannon Man, Jared Cannonier. Thanks for the help. I figured it out. He just fought him so well. And these guys have great game plans, very talented in all aspects of fighting. Obviously you got your guys like Hoofy and you got your guys like fucking the Nightmare that come in and they handle business on the feet for the most part. But these guys all got a well-rounded game. And I think that they're trying to showcase that a little bit more. Jan Top's a tough dude. I wouldn't be surprised if he like Jared said, this dude's just gonna come in and just try and swing dicks with Hoofy here. And that's not a good look. I don't think that's a good idea. He's gonna get caught, and I think Jan Top's got a great chin on him, so I don't know if he necessarily gets dropped or gets knocked out. If the old gloves are in fact back, that's a possibility. But yeah, give me Hoofy here, and I think that it definitely does finish, even though I'm just kind of alluding to it not. I think Hoofy's just better everywhere. Better, faster, bigger, faster, stronger, all that shit. He's the side. And he's one of the biggest favorite, if not the biggest favorite on the card for a reason. So yeah, give me Hoofy. Talked about it too long. Alex, what do you got?
I already gave my pick. I'm on Roofy by finish round one. I'll
Oh,
switch back to KO, but yeah.
okay. You're switching it to KO, huh? Is that what you were on?
I picked sub, but you gotta go KO here.
Well, that's why I asked you again. There you go.
I
All
know
right,
he
we'll
said
move.
sub.
Huh?
He said sub, and now he's like, you got to take knockout here.
Well, yeah, no, he's switching to KO.
He doesn't win by sub. I'm looking at his record. I'm like, that was a bad pick, actually.
All right,
Yeah, well,
fair enough.
well, what you were saying was that he could get a sub here because Yontop's so one dimensional.
But never get greedy, guys. When you're betting, just take the finish.
I just wouldn't even bet this fight. It's a mismatch. Just fucking enjoy
Well,
it.
the odds are wild on it. Like you have to if you're
Well,
gonna
that's what I'm
take
saying. Like, why even try to find value on it?
because you could take Hoofy by knockout round one or two or round one, round two. You can group those
Yeah,
together
that's
on
that
FanDuel.
getting greedy thing though, and you're gonna get shit odds for it too.
Yeah, but it's probably gonna happen to be
Take
honest. But we all have different styles of
inside the
betting, obviously.
distance, minus 200. It's not that bad.
Okay, moving up to a chick fight. So that means Alex is taking this one because I took the first one. Karine Silva versus Vivi Araujo. A little older here. She's 37 now. And Karine has some solid hair. I mean, like that, I think that that's where a lot of her power comes from. She's younger here. Araujo's a grizzled veteran, though, man. She's fought some very, very high level competition. Losing to Natalia Silva is not bad. Natalia Silva, I do believe, will become champion someday. What do you think about the matchup here first, Alex? I think you went
Yeah,
first
but
last time, but go ahead again.
That Natalia Silva, like half that fight was just stalling in the clinch. Like if that was a one FC rules, I think that fight would have been over. I think Natalia would have just put her out, you know? I think Vivi's way past her prime at this point. I think the only way she wins is either wet blanket or a fluke KO. You got to go Korean Silva here. I just think you're gambling when you're trying to pick a prop on how she wins. She could win any which way, you know, especially with this new rule set. You don't know what kind of game plans these girls are practicing and what they're going to come in and try to do. So I'm gonna go Kareen Silva money line. I'll have a bet on that, but I'm not getting greedy on this fight.
Okay. I'll go next just so that I remember the order here. I agree with everything that you said. I'm not going to take very long here. Karine Silva is the pick all day. There's no way. I've never bet on Vivi in any of her fights. I haven't been betting for as long as you guys have, but I've never bet on her in any of her fights. One of my best bets was when did she fight Lamoche? That was a while ago, huh? Is that the girl that I'm thinking of? Am I thinking of someone else? No, I must be thinking of someone else. Okay. But yeah, no, I've still never bet on this girl. I'm not even a huge Amanda Rebos fan or Hebos fan. Never been behind her too much either, but I've always bet against Vivi in all of her fights, and it has paid off very much recently. So yeah, give me Silva. I think that she probably submits Vivi here, and I think it would come early rather than later when it's easier to do so. She might
Tough
soften her up with
when
some of those 12 to 6s,
Vivi's
but
never been finished. It's so tough betting like a finish here
yeah, I know she's tough, but well, no, she's been knocked out.
on the UFC.
Well, still, I mean, she's been finished. So, Silva, I consider her a finisher for the female division, right? And even objectively, she's a finisher with nearly all of her fights. What is that? 94% of her fucking wins coming by finish. I gotta think that it's kind of come by submission here, because Vivi's never been submitted. I think that it's just a mismatch, and Silva will do what she wants here, and she might want to be the first person to submit Vivi here. Vivi's another one of these fighters that could retire tonight, all right? So, we might move that line up to 3.5 at some point because, she's getting up there and just looking bad in all of her performances. That Jennifer Maya fight wasn't even that good either when she won most recently. So, yeah, give me Karine Silva submission round one. Jared.
I still think Arujo has some gatekeeping in her. I don't think this is the last ride for her. She
I'm
got
not
some
saying it
gate.
is. I'm just saying it's possible. We're
I
talking
know
about
what you mean.
retirements. There's a lot of old folks on this fight.
Yeah,
Call the
she's
AARP.
I think she's got some gatekeeps left in her, but don't think she's gonna keep it this time. It's funny you say you've never bet on her in any of her fights. I think I've bet on her in like all of them, and yeah, it hasn't been too great lately. And now here I am. I'm gonna go against her, and I think the fight goes long, so I'm gonna take Silva here. But Arujo's gonna give her run for her money. I think this is definitely Silva's toughest fight yet. So I think we're going to learn a lot about her here, but just how she's looked, I would think she can get the win here. But I think we're gonna learn a lot more about her in this fight because Arujo is no walk in the park for anyone. So we'll go Silva by decision.
Yeah, I mean, you don't think that Marina Moroz was our girl's toughest fight?
I don't think she's as good as Arujo.
No, I'm kidding. Marina Moroz is not good. It was a tee up for you. Ariane Lipski that's a good win. I mean, I think that's a decent win. But,
Yeah, for sure.
it is what it is. All right,
Finisher
let's
though, but she looks bad. And to be honest, Kareen Silva, she's not good on the feet. She has to get that fight down. Vivi can win that fight on the feet as well. It's just I don't think she's got the cardio to survive the third round.
Vivi doesn't have the cardio, you're saying. Yeah. We're audio on my end. What are you saying?
She's getting worse fight by fight. It's like I don't know. Every time I bet Vivi, she's always surviving in the third round. On by a thread.
Okay. Well, it's a fist fight at the end of the day. But yeah, I got to go Carini. We're all on the Carini side, and the odds kind of reflect that. You never want to see these minus 500 chick fights, unless it's like a Kayla Harrison or a Amanda Nunez, or maybe at this point someone like Alexa Grasso or Zhang Wei Li, like high level girls. But yeah, this
What,
is this
how
is
do you
mid
feel
level.
about a minus 1,000 wrestlers fight where the president got a piece of the action? How do you feel about that?
What was it?
Well, how do you feel about this next fight right here?
The president took a piece of this.
Yeah, he called out Bo Nickel on the Joe Rogan podcast. I was like, out of all these people on this card, you're gonna call out Bo Nickel. He's like, you that guy, Bo Nickel. Gotta look out for that guy.
Bo Nickel. Yeah, fuck. I didn't watch that. I'm not as excited about politics as
So I got my eye out for Bo Nickel. I actually think he's one of the favorites that's not gonna shit in the pie this week. But
oh, at minus 1,000, I would hope
strange.
he wouldn't shit in the
I
pie.
thought it was strange that out of all the people the president had to talk about, he had to talk about that guy.
Yeah. I
The
could
biggest
Yo,
I
face
Ryan,
on the fucking card.
yo, you don't do a bad Trump, bro.
I do the best Trump. It's better than anyone else. Yeah,
It's
I can
not
be
bad.
Trump.
It's not bad.
I could practice more. Bo Nickel's the best. Yeah, we
There
could
you go. Yeah, there you go.
we could work on a little more. You got to do the face a little bit more. You got to like move your face around and just talk shit about everyone that you're talking about. Paul Craig's from Scotland. He fucking sucks. But yeah, dude, let's get into this next one. Bo Nickel versus Paul Craig. This is a I think this is a good step up in competition for Bo. But I mean, Paul Craig, dude, the guys that he's beaten with these fucking fluky subs, Ankalaev, Jamal Hill, right? We're talking about some solid. I mean, he's getting his fucking shit pushed in until he pulls out a crazy ass submission. And early on in my betting career, which started in, I want to say 2020, maybe, I don't know, maybe 2021. I haven't been betting too long in MMA. Got started with football a little bit earlier than that, and then I've been addicted ever since. I was a fan of this guy because it was interesting. I love the nickname Bear Jew. Okay. But for those that don't know, it comes from Inglorious Bastards. Great movie if you haven't seen it. Have you seen that movie, both you guys? I know Jared is
Listen,
afraid of
Ryan,
watching movies.
I don't even want to talk to you, bro. You don't value friendship because you still haven't watched the Basketball
Basketball
Diaries.
Diaries. I'm not gonna lie, I started it and I fell asleep. I fell
You're
asleep. We put it on late. I'm sure it's a great movie. I started, dude. You haven't been on the show for a while, so maybe I know you value friendship. You're working towards a goal. I'm not gonna question your friendship, but you can't
because
question
I
mine
watch
because
all the movies. I'm like four of your fucking suggestions in on movies.
and you liked every one of them so much.
I know, and you can't even watch the one I suggest for
I
you.
started it, but I fell asleep. I took an edible because you said it was a drug movie, and I fell asleep. I fell asleep. I don't have a high tolerance for weed, so I fell asleep. I'll try it
And when
again.
was it? When was this?
This was well before you dropped out of the show for your training hiatus
Man, you see, you had all this time and you never even tried again.
because I was like, I don't know if Jared's going to come back on the show. He might fucking win this
It
fight
shouldn't
and then
it
just
shouldn't
start
matter.
eyeing
It's not
UFC
about the show.
championship. What?
It's not about the show. It's about us.
I know. You're right. I'm
I'm
sorry.
putting more into this than you, Ryan.
All right. I'll fucking watch it soon. I
Yeah,
promise.
sure you will. That's what he said last time, Alex.
And so also another thing is that Kim told me that she didn't like the movie and she watches a lot of movies. So,
Yeah, well, she
it's
can shut up.
well, I'll tell her you said that and she will. So we'll see what happens. I will watch the movie. But yeah,
We'll
it's
see.
tough. So anyway, Bear Jew coming in here, doing his thing. The guy's only chance to win this is a fluke sub. Bo Nickel's got the faster hands. He's got all this stuff. But I'm curious as to what you guys think, because obviously we're all on the Bo Nickel side. Is there any price point? Is there any type of flyer that you take on Paul Craig? Alex, I'll start with you because you like finding these value spots. Is there any fucking world that Paul Craig wins this fight?
if you're betting a Bo Nickel spot, how do you not throw the double method Craig sub on the other end? You know, sadly, I know a lot of these sports books don't even offer this. I actually feel lucky betting at DraftKings now because I have this option. Um, Try to shop around and get different options about these fights because I have both sides. Their most likely option to win. I think nickel by KO is the side, is the prop. It's plus 130. I think that's how it's going to happen. I think it's going to end standing on the feet. I actually think he just cracks him. You know, I think Nickel's power on the feet is a little bit underrated. And, he even shocked me against Woodburn. So I do think if you are betting, getting greedy on props, that you should put Craig by sub as a hedge. Can Craig win by KO like he did against Jamal Hill? Absolutely. It's just unlikely. But he usually will win by sub. So, yeah, that's my advice. I'm going Bo Nickel by round one knockout, but I'm not going to be shocked if he just drags it out into a decision either. So I'm staying away
Or
from this. This one's a gamble, guys.
well, yeah, he's not going to win by decision. Bo Nickel does not want to win by decision.
Could though.
And if he wins by decision, that's a horrible look for him. Do me a favor real quick, Alex, and pull up Paul Craig's Tapology picture. And just knowing that he's not a striker, it's fucking hilarious. I mean, isn't that hilarious? I mean,
Oh my God.
this dude would beat my ass. He'd beat all three of our asses in the same night, realistically. But come on, that's a bad. You
What a
should
pose.
you should have yourself like catching somebody in a triangle or something. But look at his wins. Andre Muniz, that's a great jujitsu win, right? Scroll down to, I mean, he beat Ankalaev. He submitted Ankalaev. He fucking broke Jamal Hill's arm. Nikita Krylov, that's a good win too. I mean, he's beating some good guys. When did he beat Ankalaev? Because that's Ankalaev's only loss. Yeah, back in
That long ago.
2018, and that was a performance of the night bonus. Because I'm sure he got the shit beat out of him, and then he just submitted him, just like Jamal Hill. So that's the thing. Like, if this dude can beat Ankalaev, I know it was a fluke. There's that. Ankalaev is better than Bo Nickel is. As much as I'm not a fan of really either of these guys at this point, but that sub is always on the table. Where do you draw the line? I know where you're at on this, Jared, because everyone's on that Bo Nickel side. I'm gonna step away and grab a beer, but tell us what you think about the whole Paul Craig situation here.
Dude, anyone is always at risk of getting Paul Craig. I mean, right, Alex? We literally, when we watch a fluke sub happen, we call it getting Paul Craig. Like, it's just, that's always there. So, Bo Nickel minus 1,000, it's like, yeah, I know they're set, they're trying to set him up for success. And I still don't get the whole Bo Nickel appeal. It's just like, I don't know. He doesn't really do it for me. But yeah, he should fucking win with ease, I guess. But anyone can get Paul Craig on any given day. So if Paul Craig to snatch up a subs like plus 1,000 or which it will be or like over that, that's definitely worth like 10, $20 to me. Anyone can get Paul Craig anytime. So yeah, that's always there. But I'm probably not going to do anything with this fight because the minus 1,000 is probably obviously going to win. But yeah, maybe a little punt on Craig to do what he does.
Craig by sub plus 1,400.
Yeah, right there. Throw $20 on that.
Damn, yeah. If you're a baller, you can throw 100 on that and make a potential 1,400 on that. Um, I think it's live. I obviously have Bo Nickel, but I will have action on Paul Craig here by submission. That's the only way that he wins this. Bo Nickel's striking is sloppy. He's very quick. He's got that wrestler footwork. Well, I heard a lot of people saying that he got like the wrestling equivalent to the Heisman Trophy. It goes beyond that. Like he has every wrestling accolade that you can have besides an Olympic like title, or even I don't think he even qualified for the Olympic team. But he got like I forget what year it was, but he got the best athlete in his college's conference, and he went to Penn State, if I'm not mistaken. So like he got it transcended wrestling. It wasn't wrestling, it was wrestling, basketball, fucking soccer, whatever other fucking sports they have in college. He was the best athlete, I think maybe 1 or 2 years in all of them for across, 12 schools. So that's fucking impressive alone. His mentor is the greatest wrestler by a lot of people's standards of all time. His name's slipping my mind right now, but you can look him up. He's undefeated and like multiple Olympic champion and shit. It's Bo Nickel all day. Everyone's on this knockout though, and I'm a little suspicious of that. Everyone's talking about how he's going to test his hands out against Paul Craig. For him being the competitor that he is, I think that he would love to submit someone like Paul Craig. So I'm going to go Bo Nickel submission, and I'll go round one because his control is so good. And I think that I hear too many people talking about that knockout. That doesn't mean that it's not going to happen, but yeah, maybe take that just finish. The finish in round one. It's going to be juice still, but you could probably parlay that finish in round one up with some other things if you bet like that. So interesting matchup there. Now we'll move to the co-main event of the evening, and I'll take this one, and then Alex, I'll kick this main event to you. Or Jared hasn't taken one in a while, so I'll give the main event. Reason I want to start with this one is because my pick is flipped a little bit here. Okay. Now, when I first saw this, I was thinking these dudes have fought already. Okay. Alex is a big part of this mind change for me. You were just looking at it from an odds perspective, Alex, but I'm looking at it from a different perspective here. The odds don't matter so much in a position like this. There's a world where Michael Chandler could be the favorite in this, just because of narrative, right? He was supposed to fight McGregor for a money fight and all these other things. Charles Oliveira is another one of these dudes that I think could retire. Like I think he could. He's getting up there in age. He's focusing on other things. He's horse racing. He's doing things that make him more money for a lot less damage that he'd be taking on his body than like, fucking getting in the ring. He's like I said, horse racing. He's focusing on ranching. He's doing a lot of other things. He's starting a family. I know if a family takes money, he makes the most money that he can possibly do right now by fighting in these big high level fights. I don't think that Oliveira's got his sights set on another title, but Chandler definitely does. And after how dirty the golden boy of the fucking UFC did Chandler, I think it's possible, and this is like some fucking conspiracy shit here. I think it's possible that the UFC, similar like they did to Aljo, they get in Charles Oliveira's ear and they say, hey, go out here, put on a fun fight, let Michael Chandler win. Let Michael Chandler win. We owe it to this dude. We robbed him of $2 million+ in a single fight. I mean, he would have made so much fucking money fighting McGregor. I gotta side with Chandler here. I think that Oliveira is the better fighter. But if you look at Chandler on his Instagram, this dude is in the best shape of his life. He's fucking pissed. That's what I'm a little bit worried about too. Chandler has got all this pent up rage. He wants to adopt another black kid if he wins. You know that he wants to do that. If he wins, he's adopting another black kid. And he wants that. He wants that for his family. He's going to go out there, and I'm hoping that he's more calculated, because I don't want to see this dude go out there and fucking just swing dicks with Charles Oliveira, because he loses that battle 10 times out of 10. But if he goes out there and he's a little more calculated and he thinks about the family, he thinks about the money, he thinks about all this stuff, this dude can go out there and he can absolutely beat Oliveira. He basically should have won that. He was a fraction of a second away from winning that last fight. And then like 19 seconds into the second round, he gets knocked out. Right. And if you have Herb Dean in there at that point, I don't know who was reffing, but I'm pretty sure it wasn't Herb Dean. It was probably the fucking British dude that always is reffing when the guy that they want to win always wins. If Herb Dean's in there, he's calling that fight. So I was on Charles Oliveira, and I'm like, yeah, Charles Oliveira is just a better fighter. Michael Chandler sucks. He's too spazzy in there. He doesn't control himself. He fucking goes for broke every time. As good a shape as this dude's in, he's gassed in every one of his fights. Michael Chandler has, right? Like when he's fighting Poirier, when he's fighting Gaethje, he's winning at a certain point, but then he gasses, and then he gets finished late, or he loses the later rounds, like he did to Gaethje. He got finished by Poirier because he gassed. Michael Chandler is a world-class fighter still. So yeah, give me Michael Chandler. I don't see this thing going 25 minutes. I don't think that either one of these guys has the gas tank for that. I don't think we've ever seen Oliveira go 25 minutes ever in his career. So, if one of these guys can go 25 minutes, it's Chandler, but give me Chandler by knockout in probably round two, similar to how it happened the first time. And I think that the UFC just wants to pay Michael Chandler back for the runaround that he got from Conor McGregor, who's now more focused on the BKFC than he is with the UFC. So yeah, give me Chandler. Jared, what do you got?
For all the same reasons. I don't even think I need to add to that. All the same reasons I'm going with Chandler. Dude's a walking embodiment of CTE, never in a boring fight. Chandler, round two. Let's get it.
I love to hear that. Now, Alex, I know where you're at, but explain yourself here a little bit. And thank you for, you didn't even really give a reason. You just said that the odds were why you were picking Chandler before we actually recorded this, right? This was weeks ago when the line first dropped.
Oh,
I-
100%. And I actually screwed up because I thought the line was going to come down. The line's getting worse. It's plus 220 now on Chandler. So
Perfect. I'm gonna wait as long as possible, probably, and just place that.
that's still a green light for me. I think it's a 50-50 fight. You're going to give me 2-1 odds on a 50-50 fight. And, me and Jared have this opinion that it's typically not going to go the first way. So I actually do have a secondary bet that I'm going to place. I love Chandler by knockout and Charles by sub. It's probably definitely going to be minus money, but I do like that bet. I am pretty confident that bet's going to hit. And I'm going to
Oliveira
be
could knock out Chandler too, though.
absolutely, but me and Jared have this trend. We
Yeah,
have
you're
this
focusing on that.
fade.
Okay.
We fade rematches the first outcome. Whatever happened in the first outcome, we bet against that outcome. So if someone
Okay.
wins by knockout, we know they're not going to win by knockout in the next fight. Just based on statistics, this is just how it's going to happen too. It doesn't always happen, but it happens more often. So that's one scenario that I'm cutting out right away, which is Charles by knockout. I think Charles should win by sub most likely if he's going to win. And yeah, that's the double method that I like. I'm definitely gonna be betting that. I already have a bet on Chandler money line, and yeah, we're letting it ride.
Yeah, maybe you add to that too if that line's widening. Um, because yeah, that like I said, just the political narrative here just seems like Chandler is an auto bet, like you said so long ago. I mean, we're talking a month and a half ago. You said that, and I didn't see it like that at first. So I got to give you credit because now I am seeing it as that. And I watched the countdown, and I do not like Chandler, and I love Charles Oliveira. I got a poster of Charles Oliveira on my ceiling right here that my mom got me for Christmas. It's a dope little poster. It's pretty cool, but not a fan of Chandler. He's corny. I think he's fake. I think it's weird that he adopts black kids. I'm not gonna lie. It's a strange thing. It's like the fucking Brad Pitt and Angelina Jolie. It's weird, but the dude is still good, and I think that politics comes into play with these high level fights, and I think that Oliveira could be coming in here to get a bag to lose potentially. So yeah, give me Chandler here in this situation, and yeah, I mean, you can even take the money line, and I think that if you're taking Chandler, you probably should just take the money line. Don't get greedy with a prop. You could double down on just the on the money line, and you'll be good to go. But yeah, he probably wins by knockout if he wins. I don't see either one of these guys don't go in 25 minutes. If it goes past round four, I'm sweating for fucking either side, honestly. But yeah, interesting co-main event. Again, is it a great co-main event? I mean, yeah, I think it is. A lot of people like to talk shit about these cards, man. I think that it really falls off after this co-main event. The Bo Nickel versus Paul Craig, that's decent. But after that, I mean, you got Karine Silva versus Viviane Araújo on a main card when you should probably put someone like Chris Weidman on the main card or fucking Jonathan Martinez and McGee on the main card. I don't understand why this girl fight's on here. I know that they're trying to be progressive and all this stuff, but yeah, it's a strange look to have this really weak main card. But I guess they don't give a fuck because John Jones is fighting Stipe Miocic in the main event. Jared, you take this one first. Alex, you go next, and then I'll go last. Obviously, we kind of know what we think is supposed to happen here, but I want to hear your guys' thoughts.
I think it's super weird that this fight's even happening. Like you see Dana get asked about it, and he's just like tries to act like Stipe deserves to come fight for the belt. Like it just makes no sense. Like saying it's for legacy and shit. Like it's not like GSP coming out of retirement to fight for the belt again. You know what I mean? Or like if Khabib were to come back or some shit. Like this is Stipe. He's old. He's just like it's not like he went out on top. Or like when when was the last time he fought? What,
Well,
3 4 years ago?
he lost to Francis Ngannou, and he's the most decorated heavyweight in the UFC history.
Right, but it's not like he went out as that. We're saying like he didn't like relinquish the title and like stop fighting. Like he lost the title and then fucking
Well, Francis
then what?
Ngannou was the
It's
money fight, and this is what the UFC wanted, but Francis Ngannou wanted to go fight in the amateurs at PFL and just dominate someone for fucking who knows how much money. And the dude that got knocked out in round one got $2 million. So it's like, dude, I'll fight Francis Ngannou 5 times in one night for $2 million. So, Francis
yeah,
Ngannou kind of took a weird path.
yeah, for sure. But it just makes zero sense that this fight's happening. I think it's pretty clear retirement fight for both guys. Obviously, Jones probably hasn't skipped a beat. When everyone thought he was going to skip a beat, he didn't. Or not everyone, but when he fought Gane, a lot of people gave Gane a shot there, and it was just he's that guy. He's gonna. I just see them both retiring. He's gonna do whatever he wants to Stipe. Maybe Stipe looks good early, and everyone's like, "Holy shit!" He's gonna do it, and then Jones gets him out of there, and I'll say the second round. I'll call it a knockout because I can't remember Stipe ever getting subbed.
Yeah. Stipe's got great boxing too. Probably the better boxing than John Jones does, honestly. But John Jones is a master of all trades, or a jack of all trades. Probably a master of all trades too. But yeah, better boxing I would actually give to Stipe. Alex, what do you think about this? And I got a few questions before I give my breakdown.
I'm paranoid about this fight.
I like to hear that right off the bat.
Something's up with this fight, guys. Something's up. There's a lot going on, especially with Mike Tyson, Jake Paul going on. I know
The day
Dana's
before.
watching that this weekend. I don't know if he's gonna be paying for it. And I gotta just say that we missed the bandwagon on Jones money line. It opened up at minus 300 on DraftKings. It got smoked. How often do you see something go at minus 300 to what?
It's like minus 950 or 850.
All right, it's coming back now. It's coming back a little bit now, but that was minus 800 at peak. That's
Jeez.
wild, guys. That's wild. He finally earned a little bit respect back. I see some videos coming out, people saying, it's an auto bet at this point. And I'm not hating anyone for taking this bet on Stipe. Can he win? Can he play upset? There's a scenario. I just don't see it at more than 25% of the time here. I think everything is being set up for John Jones to win here and make his next move. If you think about it, the rules change. You got the gloves coming back now. Technically, no one's won using the new rules yet. It's as if they're just wanting John Jones to be the first one.
Marissa Mullins, I would argue Marissa Mullins kind of won by that 12-6 elbow that she was throwing on that hot piece of ass of a Polish girl that she fought.
Okay, all right. I guess you could state that claim.
But you're right. I mean, it's not on the record books yet.
This is just set up for John Jones to make a statement and have a brutal KO, and it's gonna be scary. I think this is gonna be a brutal brutal fight, and I think someone's gonna get cut bad, and I think it's gonna be Miocic, and I think John Jones is gonna show off those new rules to the public, and some people are gonna be outraged, and it's gonna be very controversial because I think if depending on the ref in there, if you got Herzog in there, and someone's trying to, if someone's not in a good mood, you might see some headlines in the news the next day because it could get very bad. So yeah, I think Jones is gonna absolutely kill him, and it's gonna look rough. So yeah, well maybe he'll fight Pereira next.
Yeah, I don't think he wants to fight Tom Aspinall. He said that he doesn't want to. I hope that he does something like at the end of the fight, he says like, you know, who do you guys want me to fight? And he's like, tell me Aspinall or Poatan. And the crowd starts chanting one way or the other. That'd be cool. But yeah, I don't think he wants to fight Aspinall. And I think he beats Aspinall. I think John Jones could still beat Aspinall. Everyone's like, dude, Aspinall will fuck him up. John Jones said it himself. He's fought all these guys that people didn't think that he was going to beat, and he's done it over and over again. He just has this will to win. But my question, man, is like, when does karma catch up to this guy? Right? I mean, karma's gonna catch up to everyone at some point. Does it happen outside of the octagon? You could argue that it already did with all of his arrests and his humiliation ritual that was like going on when he was, fighting DC and all this stuff, and he had to vacate the light heavyweight. The narrative is that John Jones walked away from the light heavyweight title, but he got stripped of it, right? So, I mean, that's kind of interesting. So, in the mainstream public idea, this dude is still just the best of all time. They still call him undefeated. I'm looking at his record right now. It says 27-1. I understand that was a bullshit call, but that's a loss. We don't, we were just talking about it with a few cards or a few fighters earlier. It looked like this dude lost, but he won, and that's all that matters in the books is like all this shit. But for John Jones, he's the only exception. He's the only undefeated fighter with a fucking loss in his column. So, I mean, yeah, dude, John Jones is going to win this fight, but karma catches up to everybody at some point. And I could see John Jones fucking hurting himself. Even walking into that Cyril Gahn fight, he had his toes taped, and the referees were like, you can't do that. And he was about to not fucking fight because the refs were telling him you can't have your toes taped like that. He tapes his pinky toe that he
Got him
broke.
taped today too.
What's that?
Last video I watched of him, he had him taped too.
Yeah, he always has him taped because he's been doing that since he broke his toe really fucking bad. I think it was against Chael Sonnen. His toe was bent like the wrong way. And it's just the UFC's helping him all along the way. But I mean, what if he falls down, fucking twists his ankle? I mean, at these prices, this dude is getting older. He's got battle damage. You have to take a flyer on Stipe by TKO. By TKO. That's the only way that you can take Stipe because you're getting those lines even more juiced. He's not going to win a decision, and he's damn sure not going to submit John Jones. So take Stipe by TKO, knockout, DQ, whatever.
You don't think he could win a decision? You don't think he could outpoint Jones, get some takedowns, get some control time? Because I think like maybe a flyer on decision only. So if Stipe gets finished, it's a push.
Do you think that the judges are going to give Stipe a fucking points win in this spot?
I'm just saying if they have to, sometimes you just can't.
Dominic Reyes, they kind of had to. They didn't do it. Alexander Gustafsson the first time, they didn't do it that time either. John Jones has this fucking like he seems like he sold his soul, dude, and he's talking about God all the time. It's a weird spot, man. I'm definitely gonna have Stipe by TKO, no round, nothing like that. But the pick is John Jones because that's what's supposed to happen here. But dude, you have to take Stipe by TKO. You just have to. Like, there's no way that I mean, if you're just playing the game, what's the fucking odds on that? Just TKO on average.
You're only getting plus 300 more. I mean,
still,
is it really worth it?
I think so, because that's the only way that he wins. He's not going to win a decision here. There's not a chance that he wins a decision. Submission, that'd be wild. But yeah, no, I think you have to take Stipe by TKO, KO, DQ, whatever. And yeah, John Jones is the pick. I think he probably finishes this early, but he could get hurt. He seems like, even in that Cyril Gane fight, and I was going to ask you guys about this. If you watch that fight and it's kind of ingrained in a lot of our memories and stuff, that looked like a fake fucking tap. It really did. Like, who taps to that? Who taps to that? And even Daniel Cormier is like, what did he tap to? What did he tap? He said it 3 times on the live broadcast. What did he tap to? So I don't know, man. I'm with you, Alex. This seems weird. It seems fishy in some way. John Jones is obviously set up to win here. I think that he fights Alex Pereira next if he doesn't retire, and that's a great fight. But in that spot, I'm still taking John Jones against Pereira because I'm kind of in the same camp that I am with Jake Paul on John Jones fights at this point. I think that they're fixed. And I think that this guy's supposed to win. And that's why the line is so wide is because John Jones is going to win. And that's why it fucking ballooned up like that. But I don't know, man. I'm taking a flyer on the Stipe knockout and it could absolutely happen. But yeah, like I said, John Jones could tweak an ankle. He could do whatever, and he could get fucked up in some way. He could. I don't think that it's a clean knockout from Stipe. I think it's like a TKO situation where John Jones is like he kind of almost hurts himself, and uh and he's out because this is a new weight class for him. But yeah, while I'm saying all that, John Jones is the pick, and I think it's an early finish. But you'd be a fool not to take Stipe knockout. Um, with that said, let's roll into the next shit. What do we got for like parlays? What do we got for anything else before we wrap up?
We got the
Sure.
whale and the steamer, bro. I'm back. This one's got it. At least one of these got to hit. So the whale bet, it's going to be a sweaty one. I already know that going into it, but I feel good about it. I'm going Jonathan Martinez as a straight bet. That's the whale. I saw it at plus 115 earlier. I'm hoping more action comes on McGee. I imagine it will. So I might wait on that a little bit. That's the whale. Got
To
a
put that
four
into
teamer.
perspective for people, sorry, Jared, but like how many units? I know we don't talk units here, but how many units go on a whale bet?
It varies card to card, but like basically, I don't really do units either, right? Like I'll
Yeah.
take like say I want to for a certain card, I'll bet with like 250 bucks. Whatever the whale bet is, I'll put like 150 on it because it's always like even odds. So I'll say I'm betting 250, I'll put 150 on the whale bet, and then I'll have 100 to like fuck around with like steamers and shit, like a four teamer steamer, like depending on the odds, will be like 25 ish, But and then like 25 to 50 bucks, and then I leave myself like 50 bucks to do like $10 punts and like $20 punts, shit like that. But I do it so if the whale bet hits, it covers all those other bets, and then I still profit. You know what I mean?
Yep.
So I just kind of yeah, I just make it whatever my most confident pick is or a spot I like the most. That's that just covers everything. So that's how I do it.
Okay. Yeah, I do it different. I know Alex does it different. That's why I was asking. But what's your steamer?
The steamer is a four teamer steamer this week. So this is kind of when I'd put like 25 bucks on. And then that leaves me like, probably like 75 or something to like fuck around with for the rest of the card. Um, Four teamer steamer, Hardy, Elliott, Silva, Chandler. It's plus 925.
I don't hate that at all. Only one I disagree with you on, I think, is that first one. I got Mora, but yeah, I like that a lot. Alex, you got anything? I see you're pulling out the green book there. What do you got? Got to talk.
I'm trying to find it. I did all my research yesterday. Fuck.
Okay. Um, yeah, as far as shit that I got while he's looking this up, man, I'm not too big on giving you guys plays after my initial picks because the way that I bet is usually I throw in $100 at the end of the at the start of the night, and I'll put, half that money on the first fight. I'll see what happens. Then I'll, whether I win or lose, then I'll roll that money into the next fight and the next fight. And then if I get up to like 5 or 600 off that initial 100, I'll kind of back off a little bit and I'll roll up the card and I'll just try to, at least end the night with $200. Um, and it makes it more fun. It's kind of like, what I'm feeling. If I'm having a cold night later, I'm like, okay, I'm going to fade myself. That's what I do. But yeah, sometimes it works. I would say like a fucking, 45, 65, shot on actually being profitable doing it that strategy, but that's the way I do it. Everyone talks in units, and I think that's kind of gay because, some people use like dollar units. And yeah, you can be up fucking 200 units on the year. That means that you spent 365 days and you're up $200. I get that betting is a unit game and you're bragging about your units that you're up. But I just that's not how I want to play it. And so yeah, I try to focus on dollar amounts, not units. So yeah, I'm trying to at least double my money every card. And if not more than that, I'm very unhappy when I lose money, but yeah, I'm trying to at least double my initial investment every time. So yeah, like I said, $100 into 200, that's a good night. But you know, sometimes I'll end up 1,000 profit. Sometimes I'll end up down back under. I'll lose all that money. And it's just that's just my style. So don't listen to all these people that tell you that you have to bet fucking units and manage bankroll. Obviously, don't bet what you can't fucking lose, but I'm okay losing $100 on a fucking night. No problem. It's fun. It makes the fights more fun betting on them. So that's the way I do it. So I don't have much to give you here, but Alex, what do you got?
So I got a nice two-teamer that I think's safe. Might have to lay a little bit of juice, minus 125. Over 2.5 in Hardy Mora. Over 1.5 in McGee Martinez. I think that's super safe. I think the only thing you're gonna have to sweat is a Hardy sub. And I do like McGee money line. I just don't like laying juice on him. I'm waiting for that line to flip. I think you guys think it's going the other way. I disagree. And I do have three same methods that I like. I like Charles KO. No, I'm sorry. Chandler KO, Charles sub, Miller KO, Jackson decision, and I like Nickel KO, Craig sub. And that's what I currently have. If you want the rest of the plays, hit the link in the description. Become a premium member. And you can get the post media plays because, they be dropping some knowledge at the media, I'll tell you that.
Cool. You want to go ahead and close this window out? We can go full screen on the outro here. Yeah, dude. Damn, this fucking camera makes me look red as fuck. I look like a crab here. Look at that.
Lobster.
That is not what I look like. Jesus. I mean, my hands are red. That's fucking weird. Um, anyway, yeah, this is a fun card to bet on. And we are, happy to have Jared back. You know, dude took a loss. It happens, man. You're going to come back a lot better from that. I know you learned a lot from that, and we're excited to see you debut in the BKFC. Are you fighting another kickboxing match before you go to BKFC, or are you focusing on BKFC now?
So the plan was Combat Zone's next card is February, and they don't have a set date yet, but it was going to be February. So literally like 2 minutes after this fight, I was like, no, we're getting this one back. So I told him I want on the next card. But as of today, Rick told me about Mohegan, and I'm like, fucking run that. I was just doing this shit to fill time between that. But after BKFC, that I refuse to leave kickboxing fucking 0-1. So I'm 100% getting that one back. But right now the focus is BKFC for sure. So
Yeah, that's
I,
what's cool
I,
about BKFC is like you're not exclusive to BKFC once you start that. Like how you if you fight
right.
in UFC, you can't fight anywhere else, but you can, fight your BKFC fight and then you can go back and you can do whatever you want and you can come back to BKFC. You can
Yeah.
fucking go all over the place. So, yeah, man, the beauty of that. I mean, you're not going to be able to fight amateur, I don't think, though, after you go to pro
That's
BKFC.
that's the thought yeah, I had that thought too, but I don't care. I'll fucking, you know what I mean? I'm not leaving that sport 0-1.
Good.
Just it don't sit right with me.
Any
Yeah.
opponent name yet?
No.
No, Rick just told me about this card today. Like, just said he was talking with Lytle today and like about that card happening. So nothing's like we got no name on the other side, but I can't fucking 4 months, dude. Let's do it.
Yeah. Yeah, man. You got a lot
A
of time.
balance. Drop the balance.
Yeah, we saw the guy's hands work. If you guys watch that Combat Zone, we plugged it a couple times on here. We dropped a link and told you to enter promo code Lennon. So yeah, just
Actually, yeah, matter of fact, that the people that messaged me before and after the fight, I appreciate everyone that reached out. And fucking you guys too, all the support. Thank you guys for always being good friends to me.
yeah, dude, we want to see you fucking do the best that you can possibly do, man. So don't be disappointed in the setback because you're just gonna get more and more fucking experience, and that's all that was, dude. It's like fucking college, right? You go in, you pay to learn shit, and that's what you did right there. You went in and you didn't have to pay much, but you learned a lesson, and then you're just gonna come back fucking better, dude. A guy that was teaching me how to trade stocks told me that when you lose money on stock trading, that's like your tuition. Like you're paying and you're learning from that. And you can
Right.
take that in all kinds of aspects in life, dude. So yeah, that's it was fucking awesome just seeing you walk out. I was so proud. I was like, I know that fucking dude. Did you get the patches on your shorts?
No, I did not.
That's why
But
you
BK,
lost.
yeah,
That's
that
why.
might be it.
That's the
Well,
only
Alex,
reason.
in fairness, Alex never sent me one.
I
But
sent the
Well,
logos.
Ryan sent me his in an email. Well,
if
either
you would have
way,
had the profit picks,
BKFC, I'm going to get different trunks for BKFC. So
I guarantee if you
that's
would have
where
had
it'll actually matter.
I guarantee if you would have had Dangerous World and Profit picks on your trunks, you would have fucking knocked that dude out round one. But
I
no,
know,
No,
man.
but now they're gonna set Jared as a dog because he's coming off an L.
I know, and I kind of like that. And when we get your bio together, we'll team up. We'll make you look real good and stuff. We'll make an accurate representation of
Yo,
you.
you flying out, right?
No, man, I gotta fucking work.
Fine, you can stay with You can stay with me.
No, I gotta work. I gotta be. Well, I guess
Work
I could
from
work from your
here.
house. You want to fly me out? You probably got more cash than I do. If you fly me out, I'll stay at your
I
house.
gotta fly you out. I'm taking care of you. I'm feeding you. You can sleep in my bed.
No, dude, I'll feed myself if you fly me out.
Cuddle.
The flight's the most expensive part. No, man. In
Hey,
all honesty, yeah, it's gonna be really cool to see you just like fucking expand in your combat sports career, Jared, and hopefully, we can see some big things, and I believe that we will. To be honest, man,
I'll buy your ticket. Let's
you look
go.
fucking good. If you buy
I
my ticket, I'll
appreciate
go.
it, man.
I'll buy your ticket right now. Let's go. How much is the ticket? Dude, they charge $74 for Combat Zone. They said 50 and then they charge you like mad extra.
Well, I can't buy the ticket to the event. I'm saying I can come down there and I can hang out, but no, I
You
gotta
can
work.
buy- You're working the event?
Yeah, not in
Fuck.
person. I have to work all the events.
Oh,
That's my thing. So yeah, it's cool that you got in on your own, man. I was trying to get you in through the tryouts. You got in through Recon, and yeah, it's gonna be fucking dope, man. I'm excited to see what happens for you. But with that said, we've been going on for a little while now, guys. Thank you all for listening. If you made it to this point, everybody just jump in Jared's fucking DMs and tell him how much he's gonna fucking succeed because he needs that positive energy coming his way. We all need that stuff when we're trying to do big things. And yeah, I think BKFC is your sport, dude. I told you that when you were starting to tell me about your style and all that stuff. So we'll see what happens. I'm excited about it. Alex, plug anything that you got for your content, and then Jared, and then I'll wrap us up.
Follow us on our socials at profit_picks. Make sure to subscribe, like the video, hit the bell so you're not missing any late minute ladder challenges that I force down these boys' throats. Shout out to the On Tilt boys. I saw them at Encore the other day. They're fucking some fun degenerates. They had like 40 grand in front of them on the poker table. I was loving it. And yeah, Follow T Picks. My boy's gonna be training even harder now for BKFC. We're probably not even gonna see him next week, so enjoy his picks and enjoy his presence while you have him.
Well, we better. I think he should probably show up for the rest of these. We can make time. We can work around Jared's training schedule, right? So there's no reason not to show up. You don't have
Yeah,
to even do tape study.
we're
No,
good. Fucking I'd say 2 months out I'll disappear again. But we
you
got
can
four
still
months.
pop in. You can pop in for 30
Yeah,
minutes.
yeah.
Just
It's
drop your
about
picks.
timing.
Yeah, come on. It's easy. It's easy to do 30 minutes. But yeah, no, we appreciate you popping on. And Jared, what are your plugs here?
You can just hit me up on T Pics or my normal Instagram. My cat's fucking with the lamp right now.
He
Um,
loves mentioning that fucking cat every time it enters the frame here.
he's just the best, dude.
I swear to God, if you don't go by Miss a Kitty, it's gonna be
We'll consider it.
I'm gonna be pissed. It's
But
a
yeah,
great nickname.
it's not bad, dude. But I feel like you gotta, I don't know, like
If
you
you
gotta
go in there and
earn.
you lose as Miss a Kitty, that's rough. But that'll give you extra
See,
motivation to
right?
win.
That's a problem too, right? You lose as Miss a Kitty, it's like then it just feels silly.
But people get it. Everyone knows South Park,
I know
right?
you just get your ass beat, like, damn, like Mr. Kitty thing's suddenly not so funny anymore.
But how
Now
rough is it to get knocked out by somebody named Miss a Kitty?
oh yeah, that's gonna hurt.
Yeah,
Yeah, that's definitely gonna hurt.
I'm telling you, dude. But yeah, give your plugs, man.
Yeah, just T pics or fucking my normal Instagram. I don't know if you want to fucking hit up. I don't know, hit up T pics. I haven't been posting shit on there, but I will. Fucking yeah.
Yeah, the guy's been motivated and driven, and he did a fucking great job. You guys know where to listen to me. You're obviously listening. If you're listening audio wise, it's over here on Dangerous World Podcast. But I recommend that you watch the content over there on Profit Picks YouTube. All that is in the show notes. And thank you guys for just paying attention to what we're doing here. We give out some good picks, and we're gonna keep doing our thing. We got a couple more cards before the end of the year. And yeah, it's just going to be great. We're going to keep rolling, and you'll get to follow Jared's career here in BKFC shortly. So thank you all for listening, and we'll talk to you, I think, next week. Is there a card next week?
I'm not
UFC
sure.
card? UFC card? Well, we'll
I,
talk to you next week, or we'll talk to you soon. How's that? We'll
There
see
is a
y'all
card.
soon.
there you go.
Take care, everybody.